Are you old enough to remember pasta bake sauce?
Hey, that's new. Frugal pasta bake sauce. We're about to become a delicious oven-baked dish, my dearie sweetie. We're not cooks! New Prego pasta bake sauce is made specially for uncooked pasta. Just pour it on, add water, bake with cheese and soup. Wow! We're an ooey gooey oven-baked family favorite.
Okay, after talking about it for weeks, months, well, weeks anyway. Um, Sometimes on camera, sometimes not. I'm actually going to get around to doing the pasta bake. So this is an oven meal. We're starting the oven off at 350, and it's going to bake for an hour. You'll need some aluminum foil to cover it with. I am using shells, but penne works fine as well. You can break up spaghetti or try and use things like rotini, but in my experience, you want a little bit of a sturdier pasta. I am using the passata rustica. I will put the price up here. This, I think, was about $1. If I recall correctly, this was about $1.50. You can also use, let's see how many ounces, 24 ounces. You can also use a jar of standard marinara or even a can of Hunt sauce. I used to use Hunt sauce a lot. Stopped using it because it's got a lot of sugar in it. And we are going to add meat later on. I'm going to use the Aldi's mini meatballs. This is a 2-pound package. We won't be using all that. We might use like a tenth of this. Well, no, we'll probably use about a quarter of this. So I'll put the price for this up here. This is frozen cooked Italian sausage at half the package. And I think the entire package of Italian sausage Bob got on sale for, I believe it was $3. All right, so the first thing is we're going to grease the pans. With pasta bake, this is kind of like a vintage 1990s thing. It was either Ragu or Prego that actually had like a glass jar that said pasta bake sauce. And it was basically just like a marinara sauce. And the way you used it was, I need to buy some more Pam. You mix the dry pasta, uncooked, unboiled, with the pasta bake sauce, and then stirred in some extra water. And that's exactly what we're going to do here too. So done with this. And these pans have roughly the same capacity. I'm going to put slightly more than half in here, and the remainder of the box in here. You literally flip on? Yes. You just look at the box and guesstimate. Yeah, so a little more than half the box goes in here. And the rest of it goes there. It's that easy. I promise I clean up after. I swear. And then you can take this jar of passata, or, like I said, another jar of marinara sauce. You can use more expensive stuff. We routinely use Rouse or Yo Mama simply because it tastes very fresh, has a very tomatoey flavor, and does not have a ton of added sugar. In fact, it's aimed at the keto crowd, so I actually don't think it has like hardly any at all. We're using a little more than half this jar here and the rest here. And then we're going to do, like the pasta bake jar said, add about half again as much water. So about that much. The reason you're adding all the water is because you're not boiling the pasta. And so the pasta is basically going to boil itself in the oven, covered in foil, until it uptakes all the water and becomes cooked pasta. Now, this is not going to be al dente at all. So if you're one of these people that really is in love with like that 1980s and 1990s trend of like pasta that was extremely firm, spoiler alert, I'm not. Call me a peasant. Tell me I have no taste or sophistication. Trust me, it's not going to surprise me at all. I like my pasta cooked Like a couple of YouTubers described it. They're from Britain. They described it as cooked properly, which is basically like not hard. Nice, soft, comforting, denture friendly, shall we say, pasta. Now we're going to stir it all up to make sure that the sauce and the water are combined and they come into contact with all the pasta. It is okay if the pasta is slightly above the diluted sauce. That's normal. You don't want a lot of it peeking out, but it's not going to be completely covered with sauce either. That's where the foil comes in because it's partially going to boil and partially going to steam. And about halfway through, we're going to peel back the foil and cover it. We're going to peel back the foil and stir it. Sorry, words are hard today. But it is going to partially boil and partially steam. So that's about what it should look like before you stick it in the oven. And I'll do an overhead shot so you can see what that looks like. This is the still frozen sausage. It's completely cooked. So what we're going to do is we're just going to break it up. Let's see, where should we put? We'll put this one in the smaller pan. And it is fully cooked. In fact, some of these pieces are very stuck together. But it's got an hour's cook time ahead of it, so it'll be fine. Alright, and then the other thing that's going in is the mini meatballs. How many in a serving? 210 calories for 12 meatballs. Look how many these things are. I think the last time I had these, I had a full serving cooked. I don't think I ate them all. Oh, these are, well, they are mini meatballs, but they're not that many. All right, let's count them all out and we'll put them on one half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, whoops, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, so that's 2 servings. Let's push that down in there. See, I hang out in special ed preschool classrooms and now I know how to count. I'm just kidding, of course. I've known how to count for a long time. Like almost 3 years now. All right, so we're going to cover one with foil. We need to get a good peek at what it looks like. That should do for the first one. Oh, the oven is telling me it's ready. All right, let's get the overhead shot. Okay, got the overhead shot. Now, I'm gonna cover this up. And I refreshed my memory on like what the ratios were. And the reminder on one of the recipes I was looking for was make sure and tuck the aluminum foil in tight because you want to keep the steam in. Because the part of the pasta that's sticking out is not going to boil. We're going to somewhat hack our way around that by opening it up halfway through and stirring it. But we also want the steam to stay inside and cook the pasta that's sticking out over the sauce. But I did do a pasta bake once and added too much sauce, and then I had to like painstakingly drain it off. So you're better off like not adding too much water. Adding too much water also tends to like make it a little flavorless as well. All right. So our bake time now is 47, so we're gonna reset it for an hour. Okay, and mentally noting that I need to check it at that time. to give it a stir. Okay, and we'll be back when more exciting things are happening. Okay, so we're about halfway through the cooking process. Yeah, we got 22 minutes left. Also, after you bake it and you take off the foil, the thing you're going to want to do then is apply some cheese at the very end of the baking process if you want cheese. And then put it back into the oven with the foil off. So you'll see that later. But right now, we're going to see where it's at and give it a stir. It's very hot, so don't burn yourself. Ooh, nice and steamy. And as you can maybe see, it's doing beautifully. Let's get a thumbnail shot here so you can see how it's doing. Okay, so it's poofing up nicely. I don't know if that's a word, poofing. I hope so. Yeah, it's actually quite soft. We're gonna grab a hold of this and stir it in. I suspected we might need more sauce. This happened a couple other times I did pasta bakes. So what I'm gonna do after I stir this, I'm gonna put in the other kind of sauce that you can use to make a pasta bake with. I looked up the cost of the passata, that's from Lidl, and this is $2.49. You can also use Lidl's cheaper tomato, onion, and garlic. It also comes in marinara, meat flavored, and mushroom varieties. This is the same, I think, 24 ounces. It is slightly thinner. It does have some sugar in it, which the passata I don't believe does. This is $1.85. We are going to use some of this to go on. I can get it open. That's how you know this isn't AI or scripted by robots. You get to see actual human beings struggle with cooking. I don't know if anybody else is, besides me, is disappointed in the fact that AI videos are overrunning YouTube. Some of them are kind of like hilariously bad, like especially when they're using AI generated people. They have like 6 fingers or whatever. Or one of the members of the band playing jazz has a foot instead of a hand. It's a kind of deal breaker for me. If I was auditioning people for a band, I'd be like, you don't seem to have a hand. Goodbye. But that's how you know that this is a real person. You get to watch me struggle. AI robots don't do that. They also talk like this, which I really hate. All right, enough ranting about AI. For all I know, you guys are huge fans of AI. I doubt it, but maybe. All right, so this one's poofing up nicely too. But we're going to put a little sauce on this as well. You do not want it to look dry. I'll get a screenshot and you can kind of see, I'll kind of get close enough to it where you can see all the sauce has been absorbed by the shells. So that's why it's kind of important to take it out after about 30 to 40 minutes and check it, because not all pasta is created equal. And as you can see, we're using about twice as much sauce as I thought I was going to use. And this one, you'll notice I'm not diluting because it's only going back in the oven for about 20 minutes. I can tell from stirring it that the pasta is tender. And if you really wanted al dente pasta, like firm pasta, this is when you'd want to pull it. About 35, 40 minutes into the baking and call it good. but I like more of like a very tender. This is almost like deconstructed lasagna, or what some people would call cheaters lasagna. We're going to put this back in the oven for about, we're going to make that 10 minutes. We're going to shave off some of the cooking time because it's already mostly cooked. And then when we pull it out, we're going to top it with grated cheese. This is 6 ounces. So basically a half a pound of any like mild cheese. This is marbled Munster cheese. You could totally use pizza cheese or mozzarella. That is what I would have done if I had it. But the only grated cheese I had on hand was the taco cheese. So this is it. All right, we'll come back when more exciting things are happening. Okay. It has baked for a total of 50 minutes. 50. Bake time off. Okay. All right, so at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to put the cheese on it and then put it back in the oven to rest. And I think the resting thing is very similar to the reason why you don't cut lasagna when it's straight out of the oven. Because if you do, and gosh knows, who among us has not been starving and dumb enough, that's hot, to think, how bad can it be? And cut lasagna right out of the oven. And alas, it all falls apart. Wow, this actually looks pretty good. And I think we have fully cooked pasta here. All right. Try not to cough my food. It's the steam. I certainly hope I'm not getting sick again because this winter has been an absolute bear. The entire family had flu twice, different varieties. And then just to add a little sprinkle of, different respiratory diseases, we also all had RSV. So that was fun. I am, of course, being sarcastic. It was awful. This has apparently been the worst flu season, at least in our area, since 2008. All right, so this is going back in the oven to rest. Kind of like if it just had flu. That was the meatball one. We're going to leave the foil off so that the residual heat can kind of brown it and melt it. Plus, I don't want to lose any of the cheese to foil. I have done that. Blue font, yes. And then peeled the foil off and found that like half the cheese was stuck to the foil, which is really disappointing. I mean, it's not the worst thing that could happen to you, but it's disappointing because cheese does not scrape off foil very well at all. All right. Okay, so this one did not get as much cheese as the other one, but that's okay. All right. And that one's going back in the oven just to rest. Ooh, that one's looking nice and cheesy already. Cool. And the oven's off, and we'll come back later when everyone's home because half the family is out shopping, and the other person, I think, is at some sort of appointment. So when everyone's home, then we'll eat. To watch me taste it. Okay, everyone is home, and it's time to serve dinner. I will put up the details on the prices of all the stuff throughout the video. But I have every reason to believe that this dinner will be slotted under budget dinners and easy dinners because even though it takes about an hour, there's like very little babysitting required. So you can get other stuff done while you're making it. All right, so let's see. I've got one kid that likes meatballs and one that likes sauce. Oh, this looks nice. Fluffon? Yes, fluffon. So it is not quite like lasagna level pasta, but it's definitely a whole lot easier than lasagna to make. So that is our first bowl. And then the other one likes Italian sausage. I think the thumbnail that I'm going to get is of the larger bowl. Yeah, oddly enough, the Italian sausage one came together the most cohesively. which is surprisingly because it got less cheese. All right. We're going to serve Bob, and then I'm going to come back, serve myself, and taste it. Well, I think I'll taste a little bit of each, just to be totally fair. First, we're going to get a thumbnail. Hopefully without burning myself. Yeah, that's still hot. Okay, everyone's fed. Now it's my turn. All right, so I'm going to have a little bit of the shells with Italian sausage. Nice little nugget of cheese in there. And a lot of this stuff is stuff that I had hanging around my fridge and my pantry. We already had the pasta. The meat was already in the freezer. One more meatball here. The sauce was in the pantry. What else? Cheese was in the fridge. Meat was dug out of the freezer. Pasta was in the pantry. Both sauces were in the pantry. So this is definitely something to make with stuff that many families already have on hand. All right, let's try the Italian sausage one first. I'm often inspired to do these because I watch Dollar Tree Dinners. She does a lot of stuff like this. There's another creator, that Lisa Dawn. She's also great for giving me ideas to do stuff like this. And then there's another one. Oh yeah, Cooking the Books. She does vintage stuff, so she does stuff like this too. And none of those creators do things with expensive ingredients or stuff that you can't get in most places in this country. I think the Italian sausage is the Premio brand or something like that. If I recall correctly, it's 12 ounces in a package. And you get 5 links. And Bob routinely finds it on sale. Wow, that's good. Let's try a shell from there. There we go. Oh, that is really good. It's like all the flavors of lasagna without all the work. It occurs to me that you could probably put cottage cheese in this, or ricotta, or some frozen spinach, or all three, and really mimic that lasagna flavor. The Italian sausage one is good. I think I'm actually more sold on the meatballs. The Bremer meatballs were from Aldi, and I really like them. They are very, very, very mildly flavored. They're not bland, but they're very mildly flavored. So you can make them into Asian meatballs. You can make them Italian. I would hazard a guess that you could probably put some creamy gravy on it and mimic like the IKEA Swedish meatballs with that. Yeah, that's a win. All right. I'm going to scamper off and eat my dinner, and I'm probably going to have even more than that because that was delicious. And I did not have much lunch because I was at the salon getting my hair cut. All right, have a fantastic day. And if you want to support the channel, just hit like and subscribe. But yeah, even if you don't, have a fantastic day.